Everybody lose anything. They will just come to our home and ask my mom. The first time I won my shoe, the first shoe, I think is when I was even going to high school. It forced me to drop school for whole 1 year. You can see I might manage to get around 350,000 comfortably. I have lost my panga. I have lost whatever they have lost. And they think I'm the one who have taken.
How are you, and welcome to Zero to Hero. My name is Catherine Maina, and today I'll be having a conversation with one of the most celebrated auditors here in the country. He's also an investor and a farmer. Please join me as we welcome our guest and get to learn and be motivated by his journey from that little boy who dropped out of school because of school fees to who he is right now.
Never stop, don't get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it.
Karibu sana kwenye show.
Asante. Karibu. Just have a seat, please.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Please tell us who you are and what you do.
Yes, I'm a CPA Edward Mwangi. I'm an auditor and also a company secretary. I'm a tax consultant. And also outside the office, I'm a farmer and also an investor. And on top of all that, I'm a family man, one lovely wife, and 3 kids.
How was life like growing up?
All my life actually have been, I grew in a rural area set up. So the life was not different from just a typical rural kid, whereby most of the things like we used to do in our rural home, fetching water, fetching firewood, all those things. We even back then when we used to play football with other boys and all of you, from when I was from standard 1 to standard 8. Okay. Then I migrated. I went to another different school from a different locality where I did from Form 1 to Form 4. So I can just say up to that level, because I think my life was in a rural kind of setup. My life was not different from just a typical village boy, but my life started changing when now I migrated from rural setup to urban setup. And that's where I came for Department of Education and also look for green pasture or employment. That's where life started changing from now the way the life was before to a totally different life altogether.
So how many siblings do you have?
We are 5 of us, 3 boys and 2 girls. And actually I'm in the middle of the 5 of them.
Are you the only auditor in the family?
No. I think the third born, actually the 4th born, is also an accountant and also an auditor. And actually we work together in the same office. Wow. Is one of my audit assistants in this office. Yes.
So it's like it runs in the family.
Yeah, actually I can tell you for sure, even if the others they are in a different profession altogether, at one time I think all of us we were accountant. I can tell you for sure, because one of my siblings where she works almost in finance and accounts department also. So although not so much like an auditor or an accountant, but she have a lot of background when it comes to finance. Okay. Yeah, so it's something that runs from our family.
All right. How did you find yourself being an auditor? Is it something you dreamt of, or how did you find yourself here?
I can tell you, for me, my story is totally different, because it started when I actually was in primary school. I know there are people who look for their career because of other reasons, like in terms of am I going to get employment? Mine was not that. Actually, one of the myths that was there when even I was in high school and also in primary school is that in these accounting professions, everybody have done accounts. And I remember that one actually when I was in high school, when we were trying to look on the area that you need to specialize. When I was in Form 3, one of the areas that I decided to specialize in was on business studies. So there was that myth back then that if you go to that direction, chances of you getting employment will not be possible, because when you get there out, a lot of people have done accounts and we feel there's no any other any other way you might get the employment. But that is a myth that I felt that it did not work for me, because I was so much decided that I want to be an accountant. So I can tell you, this thing I started when I was still in high school. And when I came to Nairobi from our rural home, I went up with a dream, and that's why I am here. I am today.
You've mentioned about that myth about your profession. What is that one myth about your profession that you'd like to debunk?
Yes, of course. There are other myths that have been there. Actually, if you look in most of the news, we have a lot of, in a country like ours, we usually hear a lot of corruptions. We hear a lot of fraud happening. And one of the people who are taxed to that, and most of those people who are taxed for that, most of the time it comes to be an accountant or an auditor. So, so people thought of all the auditors, they are corrupt, or all the auditors, they have integrity issues. But I can tell you for sure, that's not correct thing. For me, I have a lot of, in terms of when it comes to integrity, I've never had anything very in terms of that people can talk of they have integrity issues at all. I've never had one. I have a lot of I had a client I've dealt with. I've dealt with a very big companies, and I can tell you for sure, in one way or the other, you might find people who want you swallow your heart because of their own interest. But the moment you are a principal man, you not agree to that. So I feel at times, if you have your own issues, you might go to that direction. But we have very people who are so clean, auditors and accountants who are so clean. So we cannot say that though that myth people have that when the money is stolen in a given company, they think of a CEO of the company and also the auditor, which is not necessarily the same. Because for us, the way we do our work as an auditor is not necessarily that you might manage to get each and every transaction that happen on a company. And also, you see, the moment people feel that an auditor is coming and might highlight issues that are in their company, they usually also at times cover up. Mm-hmm. So as an auditor, you just go there when you are so in a clean heart. But at the end of the day, people think, when the company went down, maybe auditor was also involved on that. It's only because we have a limit on when we are doing the audit to what extension that we do our audit. So that is something I want to debunk in terms of in dishonest and also in integrity issues that people feel that is so much attacked to the auditors.
And what would you tell that person who would like to pursue your career or something similar to yours? What would you tell such kind of a person?
Number one is just to welcome that person. And I can assure the person who want to come to this profession, that's a very good profession and is well paying. And also, what I urge them to do is not just to choose this profession because of money. I feel that it can only be good if they want to take this profession because it's in their blood, because also what happened is that this is a profession that is not like any other profession. In this profession of ours, number one, you cannot advertise your services. So chances of you getting more business is also limited to that by that fact that you cannot advertise your services. So most of the client that we usually secure is through referral from our existing client. And you see, for a client to give you a referral to another client, number one, you need to be happy with your services. As also you need to be somebody without integrity issues, So whoever want to come to this profession, I can tell you there is a place for everybody who feel that as long as they are so much committed and they are ready to work and they don't have a lot of expectation that they want to start today and tomorrow they harvest or they get a lot of money. So it's a good profession, I can see.
And what motivated you to become Edward an auditor, Edward an investor, and Edward a farmer all together?
Number one, why I decided first to take the three of them. Number one is for diversification purposes, and also bearing in mind that half of my life I grew in a village level. Most of the things that we do at the village level is farming. So that's something that I cannot move from my blood. Farming is there because I learned that even from my parents. Also, my mom is still there, still farming. Yeah, so most of the time when I have a break from here, I usually go and join her and we do the farming. And also I have done some investment towards farming. So I want to be a role model even to the other people that I have employed there to do the farming. I don't want to be that person whereby, for example, when they are doing some jobs, I go and sit there and I watch them doing the job. I need to show them the way so that they can, at least they can help me to achieve my dream. So one of the things is that farming is there in my blood and also my parent. When you come to the investor, when you are like an auditor the way I am, anything to do, we have a lot of knowledge when it comes to money market and when it comes to investment. And actually one of the area I do here is to advise most of the client on investment related matters. So there's no way I can be advising the client on investment options if at all I'm not an investor, So because of that, also, and also I feel that, the kind of work that I'm doing, it requires myself 100%. It reach a point I might not manage to work, So I need also to look at long term that I might not be like a professional the way I am forever. It will reach a point that I want to go and relax. So then for that purpose, I need to ensure that I have a residual amount that I put aside to help me in my future life. So that's why I have combined farming, also an investor, and also I'm an auditor as an auditor.
And who is that one person who has been the most influential in your journey?
I think this one I give it to my dad. It's a very unfortunate. I lost him around 2013.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, he made his rest in peace. Because when I was still in primary school, we used to have a session with him where we used to discuss in terms of the courses that are there and the best courses that somebody can take. And also we used to have a discussion in terms of our neighbor have done this. Look on how we have achieved this. We used to have a lot of discussion, a very free discussion, with him. On top of that, also I can also look at with my mom. Because in all this life, when I was in high school, I think she has been so supportive on that. And I know that all that life, the kind of job that she was working when I was in high school, and she managed to pay me school fees for the entire 4 years. I think if she was not so committed to that, I don't think I could even have seen the light at the end of the day. So those two, my parents, I can devote. And I can just say, if it were not for them, I would not be here where I am today.
So your parent has been the most influential in this journey. What would you tell other parents out there when it comes to motivating their children, when it comes to career and life in general?
Yeah, no, I think the issue that we have in the community is the gap in terms of most of the parents that we have today. Some of them have not gone to school. So, and also now the people that we are having, the small kids who are going to school today, they are so much clever, not clever in terms of intelligent, but they are a little bit cunning in terms of somebody who not even attend to school, somebody who even go even to have exam, change the result to show their parent, and then their parent will be happy because of their result. I've seen a lot of people doing that. I've seen other kids doing that. So I think the only thing I can urge for the parent, that issue of parent feeling that the moment they take their kids to school, their responsibility is done, that you have just started it. What is so much important is now the area to follow up with that kid to make sure actually the fee that you are paid to that school, you are getting something out of that, because the parents just take their kid to school and they forget about that and they wait for 4 years or when the kid is in high school, just maybe to see the kind of grade that the kid will come up with. So because most of the parents, what they are doing is that they just want to show off that I've managed to take my kid to school, but whatever they're getting from school is not their business. So I think what is so much important is where if the parent, they can combine efforts with the kid and work together, even in school, because the moment the kid is separate and also the parent, they are separate, they are not even converging at a given point just to understand the progress of their kid. where even you see most of the parents, they don't even tend to go to school just to have a discussion with their teachers on the progress of their kid. And then for the 4 years in high school, you end up even, that's why we're having people scoring grade E. And you see the moment that students have gotten grade D, nothing much you can do. It's like, that's one of the life now got to the head up to that level, you know? So I think what is so much important for the parent is just to cooperate with the kids and also with the teachers and give the required support to the people who are the school or the students.
Edward, you are an auditor. There are so many people out there who do not understand what is auditing and what does it entail. Would you please try to explain to our audience what is auditing and what it entails?
Yeah, thanks so much. When it comes to audit is under 3 levels. We have what we call external audit, we have what we call internal audit, and investigative audit. The three, they are under one umbrella or body, that is audit, but each and every level deals with a totally different section of audit. To start with external audit, this is an audit that we do for the financials, one off in a year. We do it on organization every once in every 1 year. Then we have what we call internal audit. Internal audit is a little bit done on a yearly basis, not necessarily on a yearly basis, but on a quarterly basis. And it does not involve the methodology or the approach that we use to do the internal audit. It's totally different when we are doing the external audit. Then we have what we call investigative audit. Now, at times we call it forensic audit. This is another kind of umbrella body under audit, which involves now doing when there's a fraud that have happened in an organization. We come and the organization need to determine where the source of fraud and also to look for those culprits who penetrated the fraud. We do what we call forensic audit or investigative audit. Mostly it happens that investigative audit is for the criminal justification. But when we talk of external audit and internal audit, these are for statutory requirement. Most of the organization here in Kenya, because we have governed, most of the companies, they are governed under Companies Act. It's a mandatory for a company to do an external audit on a yearly basis and submit the financials as required by the Companies Act. So the approach for 3 different setups of audit is totally different. And also the report at the end of the day, because once you do the audit, you need to give out the report to the stakeholders. The report also is totally different. Number 1, when you do for the external audit, the report that you get, we usually present to shareholders or the owners of the company. When you do the internal audit, the report that we generate there, we submit to the management, because we are trying to advise the management, this is the progress of the company, and these are the loopholes that are there, and you need to take care of that. Then we have investigative audit. Mostly when we do investigative audit, this is a matter that need to go to court. And you as an auditor or as an investigative auditor, it will reach a point that you need to go and represent your report to court. Yeah. So those are the kind of reports that we have when it comes to audit. Now, just to elaborate a little bit when you talk of what is an audit. When you talk of an external audit, our work, because people, they don't understand what is the difference between an auditor and an accountant. Our work is not to come up with financial statement. We don't prepare any financial statement. Our work is just to review the financial statement that have been prepared by an accountant. Ours is just to confirm whether those financial statements that have been prepared by accountant, whether they are true and fair view of the financial position of a particular company. So just to remember the myth that I was debunking the other minute, that the auditor, when you talk about the auditor, they have a very control in any company. We are not the people who prepare the financials. Ours is just to review the financials. So generally, that's the work of the auditor, just to review the fair view or the true position or the financial position of a company. And there's something, when we are giving, at the end of the day, when you're doing an external audit, you're supposed to give what we call opinion. Mm-hmm. I've just said that we don't prepare financial statement. So what we give is just an opinion. And the opinion that we give is not like absolute opinion. You get point, eh? Absolute opinion to say that we give 100% whether the financials are okay or not. Because in the audit, we do what we call sampling. There's no way you come and do the audit for 100% of your transaction. We only do like a sample. We can just say we only sample like 40% of your transaction or 30% of your transaction. Who knows whether the other sample that you have left is where the fraud was committed. So that's why at the end of the day, you cannot just say this company corrupts because of the auditor. No, that's not the work of the auditor. The auditor is just to review the statement. So the person who will be questioned is the person who prepared those financial statements, which happens to be the management.
Edward, you have mentioned about being an auditor, you have to reach a certain level of education. Would you mind telling us about your level or your education background? And also, I remember there is a time you were telling me that you dropped out of school in primary school because you couldn't afford 300 shillings or your parent could not afford 300 shillings for school fees. Would you please tell us more about your education background?
Yeah. Okay, for the requirement, for you to be an auditor, there's just a basic requirement when it comes to academic. Actually, for the academic part, there's no any requirement. When it comes to professional part, that's where we have a requirement that you need to have a CPK. Yeah. So CPK is like, we do it in various sections. Those are all six sections. When you have done up to the sixth one, then you could qualify to be an auditor. Then, but after gaining an experience as per the way it's required. But for me, apart from doing the professional courses that is CPA, I've also done company secretary. I'm a CS. Actually, I'm a CPA Edward and also CS Edward. And also the same with the CS or company secretary, you go the same process. We have 6 sections that I've done from section 1, section 6. Then after section 6, you qualify to be a CS, but after also gathering some experience for at least 3 years. Then when it comes to academic background, yes, I started, I think all this started from primary school for the first, I think, 8 years. But I can tell you for sure, in whole of my life, I think primary school was the hardest life when it comes to education. Actually, people know that primary school is the cheapest or is an education that does not cost anything. And somebody, actually like today, we call it basic. It's a basic and everybody, I think even today is just a free education for the primary and everybody can afford. But I can tell you back then, primary education in my life, it forced me to drop school for whole 1 year. I remember actually I was in standard 6. Actually, it's almost 1 year and some months because of just 300 shilling. Back then we used to call it maintenance fee. Yeah. But now, because of the state financial constraint back then that we had in our family, my parents getting, we have other siblings. Yeah, my parents getting the 300 bob and also to take care for the food and as another very basic things for the family. It was hard, So, and also, we had 2 other siblings who were before me. One of them was, I think, is 37, and the one was around 36, around 37. So my parents felt that let's first concentrate with the one who are almost now graduating from study to the next class. Then for me, Aujipanga myself. But back then I didn't understand. I didn't feel there's a way of education that is so much important. So actually I welcomed the idea. And I said, oh, my mom, I can help you in village works here and there. So I was okay. And it took me whole 1 year. And actually even after that one year and some few months, I think we got a good Samaritan who came and paid the 300 bob.
Wow.
For me. And I can tell you all that period when I was working from when I was now in home, when I was not attending to school, when things, in a rural area, there are things that happened, like somebody would just say, who came, stole my panga from my compound, who came, stole my, people now try to relate who is that kid who is not going to school. All those things that will now come to you. When people lost their things even from their home, they will just come to our place just to confirm, whether they can get the things there. Why? Because everybody's at school. I'm only the one who is running around, and I'm that age, the way the boys are very aggressive at the age of around 10, 9, and 12 years. So when everybody loses anything, they will just come to our home and ask my mom, I have lost my panga, I have lost whatever they have lost. And they think I'm the one who have taken. I can tell you the way that life was, and even the way the people started associating my family, in a very negativity way, it was not so good. And I learned a lot even from that period. Actually, when I went back to school, after that 1.5 year break, actually, I put a lot of effort. By the time I was leaving school before the break, I think we used to be around I was just an average people. But when I came back, I used to be in a position 1, position 2, position 3. Actually, from now start 6 up to start 8, I used to be either position 1, 2, or 3, not above that. So also to me it helped me a lot, and I learned a lot. But then, nevertheless, after I think I completed start 8, I joined high school for 4 years. Then after high school, I came to Nairobi. I started CPA, where I did the CPA from section 1 to section 6. Thereafter, I looked for unemployment, where I was just earning very small amount of money. Then I decided the small amount of money I'm getting, before I turn myself to a family man, let me also look for more education, where I joined my first degree, which I did my first degree, Bachelor of Commerce, Finance option. Then after 3 years, I also joined Kenyatta University, where I did my master's. Then even thereafter, I think the urge to learn continued. I joined again. I did another professional course, that is secretarial studies, where today I completed that last year, and I'm already qualified, and I'm working as an auditor and also a company secretary. So basically that has been my background when it comes to education. And I also feel that I have not exhausted my learning. Actually, even when I was conferred with my degree, I was told the degree I was given, I need to continue learning. And also learning is a continuous process. You need to continue learning. And I've just taken a break. I'm just thinking after 1 year, I might go back and do my PhD.
Edward, I have seen you have staff here, and I understand you also have other staff from the farm and from the other businesses that you have. How do you manage these people?
Yes, basically what happened is this, I have different businesses. Like the way I put it, I'm an auditor, also an investor, and also a farmer. In every business I have employees that will take care of my interest, and also at the end of the day, they get their employment benefit from there. So basically, these are totally different businesses altogether. In terms, although it happens I'm the director for the business, when it comes to the management is done separately. Number one, in this audit firm, we are around 16 staff. Most of the time, actually, they don't report here because we do the work to our current premises. Like today, we are like around 4 who are already reported here. All the others, they are in the field. They are working from the field. So they usually report here once they are done with the assignment where they are working. Currently, we have others in Embu, others are in Kisumu, and there are 4 of them who are in Mombasa. So, but we expect over the weekend, all of them, they'll be back with the assignment. We review Monday, Tuesday, then we start as other assignment. Also, I have another company, the one that I do, a courier company, is an international courier company that is based in Pakrat. Also there we have 8 staff, and we have 2 vehicles there. We do the courier business, like the one that G4S do, but ours is different because we do internationally. If you want to have a parcel from India, parcel from US, or to send a parcel to US, we do that. And actually we have a subsidiary. When I opened this company, I'm a co-director to other Indians director. So because of my past experience in finance, the 3 directors, they are not Kenyan, they are foreigners. So when we started the business, I was told to be finance director and also the local director. Them they are in India, but they are giving us our support that we want from India. So from that we have 7 staff and some other assets that we are running from there. In rural home where I'm doing now the farming, where we have only 2 staff, because also we don't require, but most of the time we require a lot of people, casual laborers, when the times comes, because when you are harvesting, when you are doing the coffee and what have you, all that, we need a lot of staff. So basically, it's an issue of management. Of course, I told you I've done masters in a strategic management. So when you are an investor, when you are an auditor, when you are a farmer, you need to have a lot of managerial skills. Number 1, to know how to manage the people, because I can tell you, the kind of work I'm doing, you have to treat the people as an asset. So from this office, actually, I can tell you for sure, for the last 4 years, the kind of people who have passed through this office, either in attachment, who have come here for attachment, like for this year alone, I had around 10 students coming for attachment. By the time they leave here, actually, most of the time, we look for employment. We have placed some of them to our client. Others have gotten a green patch when they are still working from here. Currently, still we have three students who are here for attachment. So I can tell you, apart from the employment, and these people who comes here, we are even giving them money. We are paying them. They are coming for attachment. And the kind of people who comes here to ask for the attachment, they keep as if crying, saying, "Oh, give us for attachment. We are ready to pay you." But I tell them, come here, I train you, I give you even money for upkeep and what have you. Then after 2 months, they are productive. They start working in the company. They start earning salary like any other staff. So most of the time when I'm walking in town, in the street here in Nairobi, I'll just meet these people who are so happy, working in a very big company. When they are happy, they even buy me tea. Say, "Hey, my former boss, come and have a cup of," I like that.
Yeah.
Even today, like we have 4 grants, new grant that we signed last year. All those grants were referred from staff who used to work from here. Wow. You used to work from here. We developed them. We take them through career guidance. By the time they live here, they go and get job in a very big companies. So issue to do with the management is also is a very important because I'm dealing with people for different. When you're dealing with the people like professional, the people that I have here is they are professional. The ones that are there in rural area, those are farmers. So you need to bring them at that level and you understand, because their reasoning is totally different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Edward, in this journey, what are the challenges that you have faced along the way?
There have been a number of the challenges that I actually have faced from the time I started this professional. And number 1 is because when I started as a starter, what do you expect? Number 1, you are starting with a single client. Having a single client and you're a family man, you need to feed the family. You need to look for an office. You need to commute from one part of country looking for more client and what have you. It was a challenge. So now with that, the kind of revenue I was getting when I started this business, that money was not even enough to pay for my rent. So there have been a lot of challenges towards that. But after time, I think I started signing more clients. Maybe that problem now, there's a history. Then also the challenges that I face across this profession was about now signing new client. Signing new client, the fact that you cannot advertise the kind of service that you are offering. Also now it limits you to the new client, on how you can get the client. And also being the fact that when you are doing the financials, most of the people, they are not ready to give their financials, because people feel that financials is a secret and you should not share with anybody. You get the point? So by the time the client create that trust with you, and they are ready to give you the information, their financial information, or their secret, then I can tell you it means that you have created a very good rapport with that client. That's another challenge that we have been faced. But at the moment now you create trust with the client, now you are ready, good to go, and you can get you can sign up the client. The other issue I started with now when I was signing new client, most of the client will tell you, "I want to come and visit your office." When I started, I didn't have an office. It was a briefcase kind of farm. Yeah. When I get job from the client, I will rush the client. I do the job. But tomorrow when they want to fix the meeting, I will tell them I will not be in the office. I will be in that side of your office. Can I pass by and you have a meeting? So I tried all my level best to avoid any client could want to come to my office, because the other thing is that most of the client want to know where the people they are dealing with, their office, if at all there's anything, how they can allocate you. But now that's something I wanted to avoid at all the cost, because I didn't have an office. Then after some time, I got a very small office that was based in Ronangara Street. Yeah, and actually I can tell you, I think, and what I noted is that an office is very important, because during that time when I had that small office, there's a 2 clients I tried to sign, and they asked me about the location of the office, and I gave my business card. The time that you were to have a meeting in my office with them, they disappeared. They disappeared. But what came to my mind thereafter is that I think they were not so much comfortable with going to that side of town, yeah, when they are looking for a professional. So I noted also now that is I think an office is also very important. The other thing is that also there's a client who I forced and who tried to force me that they want to come to the office and see the office, and they managed to come, and we discussed everything, and I was to give them an engagement letter to go and sign. But because of the status and the way the office was looking, I think I gave them the engagement letter, then they went and disappeared. We have never signed. But right now I'm comfortable with this office. Actually, one of the things, even I heard you saying, whoever comes to my office say, oh, it's a very good office. So that kind of, saying gives me feel that good, that I'm a good office and I'm ready to sign for more client, because that's where they can locate me in case of anything.
What would you tell that person who is qualified, yes, but doesn't have an office, yes, and would like to start an audit firm or start any kind of a business?
What I say is that any business, there's a starting point. There's no way, in this kind of profession that we are doing, there's no way you start with a 100 grand. Where are you going to get those 100 grand from? And signing a single grant, it can take even a year. So there's no way you can tell me you manage to have an office and then you go and look for the grant. Where are you going to get the money to pay for an office? An office here in town, roughly like an office like mine, you end up paying around 80,000 in a month. How many clients are you going to sign that are paying you 80,000 in a single month for you to manage to have an office? And you see, an office is not just a rent. There are other incidental costs that you need to pay on top of the rent. So if somebody have decided that they want to start the audit firm, forget about the office. Start very small. Start looking for the client who can understand you. Yeah. Don't look for those very big companies, because those big companies, they want a very, very structured office. They want to actually to come and see the office. So I know for sure for that kind of client, somebody will not sign when they don't have a very proper structured office. But now that doesn't mean that you cannot sign the client. There are those clients who are just interested with your service. They are not interested to know where you are operating from. They are actually even the client who says that for you to do the work for them, you have to go and work from their office. And that's how I started. So somebody should not give an excuse that I don't have an office. That's why, or I don't have the money to pay an office. That's why I'm not ready to start an audit firm. Because what is required is your knowledge and your skills. Even if you have a very good office, but you don't have whatever it takes for you to run the office alone will not help you. What is so much important is that you have the skill and the knowledge to execute.
So it's go out there and start.
Correct.
Good. And so as we wind up, what does success mean to you?
To me, success, I can look at in terms of achievement. But now this achievement, you achieve it through ethical and honest way. And to me, what I've achieved so far, I feel that I've achieved this through ethical and honest way. From the time I started working, either as an investor, as an auditor, and as a farmer. Actually, I can tell you, there's a times I think 2 years, last year but one, we, as a farm, we donated some cooking materials to one of NGO in Thika as a way to show welfare and also to take care for the needy people in our community. But in my life, I've never gotten even a single coin in an ethical manner. So to me, I cannot just say a success is having a lot of money. You can have a lot of money, but you have gotten those money through unethical means. So to me, the best way I can define success is achieve but you achieve through ethical and honest way.
Thank you so much, Edward, for giving us an opportunity to learn from you and get motivated. You are indeed a hero and a person with a big heart. We celebrate you and may God continue blessing you. And by the way, guys, Edward has offered to take us for a trip to Murang'a County, where he grew up and where the farm is. So guys, see you in the next part of this video in the farm.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but this life ahead of you ain't easy. It was built to be rough, but that's what makes a personality is tragedy, bro.
Hello, right now we are in Getuge Ward, Madhia constituency in Murang'a County. Tumekuja hapa so that we can get to learn and know where our guest Edward Chege alizaliwa, kwenye aligroia, and we get to learn where all this started. Let's go. Hi Edward.
How are you?
Habari yako?
Mzuri sana.
Ulifika mbele yetu?
Kabisa na nikaanza kazi.
Sasa?
Yes.
Ndio unafanya nini sasa?
Sasa hizi ni mang'ombe kidogo hapa, nafanyia kazi kidogo. Nikafika nikaona hazina majani, nasema kwanza nizikatie majani kidogo. Naona
ziko na afya sana.
Sana. Najaribu kidogo. Hapa Murang'a tunasema ni wira tu. Maanisha ni kazi kila wakati.
Hapa sasa ndo nyumbani.
Hapa ndio nyumbani. Hapa ndio nilelewa hapa. Hapa hii kijiji kanajiita Kiganjo.
Okay, Kiganjo.
Nilizaliwa hapa. Nika attend nursery school just a few meters from here. Then after 1 year in nursery school, then I proceeded to primary school. It's around 500 meters from here. That is Goto Primary, from standard 1 to standard 8.
Mko watoto mlikuwa mnapanda hizi milima nimeona huko.
Sasa hapa Murang'a milima ni kama inakaa hivyo. At least if you are to go down the hill, there's a very big hills there down. So wewe hujatembea mahali kuna milima. Yes.
But it's very green. Inakaa very fertile.
It's always green. It's always green. I think it's God blessing. Yes.
Sasa hapa ndo kwako ama kwa madhi?
Sasa hapa ni kwa mom. Also ni kwangu.
Okay.
But mimi I have another rad apart from here.
Alright.
But although nimejega hapa tu, kwani kwangu hapa ndio after my high school, hapa ndio nyumba yenye nilijenga.
Hapa ndo ulikuwa na.
Now before even we migrated to Nairobi.
Okay.
Yes.
How was life here?
I can say life, I think back then, when I was born, around that 5 years ago, I think the life was just like that an ordinary son in a village, whereby our core duties was you wake up early in the morning, you go to school, in the evening you come, you look after the cow, you go fetch water. Back then, we didn't share the roles. We have the role for the ladies and the men. No, we used to do all the jobs. I could go and fetch water. I could also go and look for firewood. I would also go and graze, you know. All those things were expectation for our parents. In the evening, within 2 hours, you have to do all those things.
Mpaka kupika.
You know, when my mom was not there, most of the weekend, she used not to be here, to be around. Hiyo unafanya hiyo kazi.
Unajua kupika vizuri?
Sana. Even currently, even in my home right now, at times I usually surprise my family.
Wow.
And I do a very good breakfast. Yeah.
Now, coming back here,
yes.
What are some of the memories that you remember?
Yes.
And how does it make you feel?
I can tell you, like 3 years down the line, I have done a lot of investment from this my home place, even like this house for my mom. I've done some renovation here and there, and also why I do all this, because I don't want to lose my memories, because I believe memories are always very important, and also believing that where I came from, I was born among other 5 siblings, of 3 boys and 2 girls, and I'm actually the one in the middle. We started alive in a very humble background. We started where actually my parents were not even working back then. I can tell you for sure, the first time I won my shoe, the first shoe, I think is when I was even going to high school. The whole of my life in primary school, I didn't manage even to get even a pair of shoe because of the way the life was. But I believe not only an expectation of this, only exemption of this family, I think that was whatever was happening back then. Even the people that comes around here, the life was the same. Getting a meal, but it was a little bit hard at times. But thanks God, at least we used to have what was just enough for us. But all those means that back then, even having like a chapati, getting a chapati back then was almost impossible. I think our staple food here, Githeri, used to have Githeri from Monday to Friday. And also even on weekend, Githeri is still there. So I can tell you, there's a lot of memories from here. I can tell you, even the people that we have grown up with together, my family, and also my brothers who are in Nairobi, and also the people who are neighboring here, who usually even work in town. I have a lot of memories. That's why most of the time I usually intend to come and visit, do some other investment, just to relate that memories with what is happening currently.
Can you remember that one memory?
Yes.
Sahau.
Yes.
You were happy.
Yes.
Maybe good memory or bad memory?
No, one of the things I can remember back then, like the way the weather look like, after the change, there have been a lot of changes. Like we have now the water pipe is here. Back then, when I was around standard 3, we used to go to fence water from river. The river is around almost 2 kilometers from here. Wow. It's a very steep hill down there. And most of the time, it used to happen like this. In school, we are supposed to carry some water for cleaning the classroom. And then also from here, we also need to fence water for the domestic use from here. So most of the time we used to get from here, you go to the river, you go 2 times. One water is for going to take into school and the other one is for domestic use. Some of those, when I remember some of those kind of life back then, that was there back then, and then the life that people who are now currently living, when I try to compare the two life, I can see back then the future, our life was very unfair to us as compared now to the current situation.
When you look back,
yes,
how do you feel when you knowing the life that you lived here,
yes,
and where you are right now?
I think number one, I think this one is as a result. Number one is God. I think I believe in God. I'm also a Christian, and also having a very good parents, because of course, we believe that the moment you grow in a very good Christianity foundation, where you have a parent who are showing you the right way, I believe that that's the starting point. Just like the tree, the moment you show the right way, and then when it's still younger there, also it ended up bearing a very good fruits. The same with my life. Number one, I think this one I can say is because of God, because does not mean everybody who is not blessed that they don't pray to God. They also pray to God. So, but I can associate this with the God blessing and also very good background, where our parents were there to support us and to show us the right way.
Edward, you have mentioned about your mom,
Yes.
Vile ulikuwa mtoto mzuri unatumwa maji unakuja nayo,
That's true.
Nimemuona, wacha nimuulize you are what kind of a child.
Come I take to her.
Sawa, twende.
Come.
Ma'am. Habari yako?
Nzuri sana.
Leo tumewatembelea.
Asante sana, karibuni.
Asante. Huku kunaitwa aje?
Huku kunaitwa, hii kijiji inaitwa Kiganjo.
Okay.
Ama watu wengi sana wanasema Kitogu.
Okay. Naona maji tuko na mingi sana hapa.
Maji ni mingi.
Hii ni ya mto, ya mfereji ama ni ya mvua?
Hii ni ya mfereji.
Okay.
Na tunafurahia sana kwa sababu wakati ule wa kwanza zamani tulikuwa tunachota maji kwa mto. Na kulikuwa kubaya sana na bali jua ikiwaka hivi hata huwezi sikia kuenda kuchota, na lazima ushote kwa sababu nahitaji maji.
Na nimeona milima.
Kuko na milima kubwa sana. Sasa sisi tulikuwa tunaamuka mapema saa 11. Unaenda unashota maji, unashota ingine unaleta. Alafu sasa hawa wakitoka shule wanakuja wanashota ile ingine. Tulikuwa tunafanya hivyo kwa sababu ng'ombe zinahitaji kunywa maji. Tunahitaji ya kupika, ya kufua. Yote. Lakini maji sasa imewakaribia. Sasa maji imetukaribia, sisi tunafurahia.
Hakuna kwenda kwa mto tena.
Hakuna.
Sasa nilikuwa nataka kuuliza huyu Chege alikuwa mtoto wa aina gani akigrow up?
Chege alikuwa mtoto mzuri. Lakini unajua hali ya watoto wakati mwingine anakuwa mtoto mbaya, wakati mwingine alikuwa mtoto mzuri. Lakini ni kusema Chege alikuwa mtoto mzuri. Hata watoto wote wangu hakuna mtoto alikuwa mbaya. Kwa sababu hakuna mtoto ningeambia fanya hivi akatae. Lakini najua wakishikana na wengine kuna kuanga hali ingine. Wakienda kwa barabara hata unaweza waita wakose kukuja. Lakini akikuja nikimwambia fanya hii na fanya hii na fanya hii anafanya. Alikuwa mtoto mzuri.
Alikuwa mpaka anaenda kwa mto kuchota hiyo maji.
Wakitoka shule, kazi yao ilikuwa ya kuchota maji, kutafuta majani, kutafuta kuni, kwa sababu hatukuwa na miti kama hizi unaona huku. Sasa kutafuta kuni, kuchota maji, kutafutia ng'ombe majani. Na mimi nawapikia. Lakini siku ile hakuna mtu ambaye hangeweza kupika. Hata Chege alikuwa anapika.
Hakuna siku hata moja ulishaitwa shuleni ati amefanya nini, amejificha?
Hakuna hata siku moja. Hata siku moja. Hata amalize primary, secondary, hakuna siku hata moja niliitwa na mwalimu kwa shule.
Na kwa masomo primary?
Kwa masomo primary alikuwa mtoto mzuri. Alikuwa anafanya vizuri kabisa.
Anakuja number 1.
Hata kama hakuwa anakuja number 1, lakini alikuwa anafanya vizuri. Unajua hata kama mtu hajakuja number 1, lakini ukiangalia vile masomo yake iko, unaona huyu ni mtoto anaweza enda mbali.
Asante sana mama.
We ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters and we ain't got nothing to hide. We move forward like soldiers, you better wake up.
Yes, now tunaenda kwa the next shamba yangu. Ninunua 3 years ago. I've started some development here and there. Actually, you can see it's like a distance of like a kilometer or less. So I have transferred some of my business from the other side to this side. Utapata ng'ombe hapa. I have coffee plantation. I have new plantation also I'm planting. You can see even from here, that's the homestead that is there.
Oh.
Yeah, but mwenye anakaa hapa ni mfanyakazi. But also thinking long run, I might also set my house here because I have a very good chunk of rat. It's around I bought another 2 acres. So in total I have 5 acres from here. Yeah, so yes.
Tuko Gituge?
Yes, hapa ni Gituge bado. Gituge, Mathioya, Murang'a County. You can see from here the topography of the rat.
Wow.
Yeah, so
it's very green.
It's very green. It's always green.
Nimependa huko Murang'a because the land is so green and so fertile.
Yeah, it's always like this. Yeah. Sasa, this is the other part of my rat. Yenye nimekuambia. You can see from here. Kwenda mpaka huko chini.
Mbali ni kubwa.
They are supposed to be 4 acres now.
These are 4 acres now.
Actually, the one that I have this side, they are 2 acres. Then I bought another one. You know, the one that we have a lot of coffee plantation.
Okay.
Actually, from here you have this avocado. I've bought another 2 additional acres from here.
Where are the avocados?
So I'm saying we have this big tree, avocado tree.
Okay.
Yeah. So now they are in total they are around 4.5 acres.
Wow.
Yeah. You know when I bought this rad, it was like a forest. Ilikuwa msitu tupu. So I've started. You can see now I've started even planting Mandizi plantation. Also you can see I have even avocado trees that are coming up. Yeah. You can see. I have even tap water. You can see this water is coming direct from the tap.
Huku nimeona maji hakuna shida ya maji.
CDV. Unaona? So hii maji iko.
Huku maji ni mingi.
Yeah. You can see there's a lot of green. Back then like a year ago, it was like a desert actually.
Wow, it's so green.
You can see there's a lot of improvement.
So wewe ndo umeirudisha hivi na kaa.
Umerudisha up to hapa.
Haya, mpaka kuna ng'ombe.
Yes, niko na ng'ombe 3. You know, hapa Murang'a bila ng'ombe.
Na zinakaa zile za grade.
Yes, bila ng'ombe maisha haiko kamilifu. Yeah, lazima utafute ng'ombe. But we are trying.
Wow.
Majani ni shida, but with what we are doing, na venye tumeanzia kupanda, na venye sasa niko na manyua, nafikiria in a year, 2 years, 3 years down maybe the time, we might have even 10 of them.
Wow. Uko na mpango ya kukuwa na mang'ombe hapa.
Yes, nimenunua mpaka mashini ya majani.
Wow.
Ya kukatakatia.
Hata naona kuna mtu hapa. Habari yako?
Sasa hapa ndio nalisha mang'ombe wangu kidogo. Nimeanza hii project like around now 6 months. Wamezaa wote watatu.
Wow.
Wamezaa wote. Hao watoto wake. I think mmoja ulimuona the other side.
Mwenye ako nyumbani.
Mwenye ako nyumbani. Hao wengine nimeuza.
Okay.
Hii ni project ilianza kwa sababu ya hii shamba. Siku nataka entirely ya kufanya kuzia ng'ombe ama maziwa. Nilikuwa nataka kwa sababu ya manure ya shamba. Because I was buying manure at a very high price. So nikafikiria if I was to bring cows from this side, hii manure itanisaidia na maziwa kidogo yenye tutapata hapa itasaidia mpaka wazazi huko nyumbani. So hii ni project nimeanza, but what is in my mind, in a few months to come, I also want to extend nikuwe na ng'ombe hata kama 10, kwa sababu also up to this point nimeona sinasaidia na also nimeona shamba yangu imeanza kubadilika kwa sababu ya hiyo manure. Yes.
Wow. Naona hapa uko na kijana ya kazi.
Yes. Anaitwa Boni. Tumefanya kazi na yeye sasa kwa mwaka mzima. Amesaidia, alikuja hapa wakati hii shamba ilikuwa inakaa msitu. Tumefanya kazi na yeye na amejaribu sana kwa sababu unajua sasa kama mimi nikiwa Nairobi, yeye ndiye macho yangu hapa na amenisaidia. Hii girini yote umeona
ni kazi ya Boni.
Ni kazi yake sasa.
Boni, habari? Boni, since ukuje hapa, maisha yako imeweza kubadilika namna gani?
Maisha yangu imebadilika na imebadilika hivi. Tangu nikuja hapa nimekuwa nikituma pesa nyumbani, bibi akifanya miradi yake kule nyumbani kama ufugaji wa kuku, shamba kutayarisha na kulima. Unajua sasa tunalima mahindi, tulime kahawa. Mbolea mnajua imekuwa bei ya juu. Sasa hiyo pesa ninapata hapa, nyingine naitumia na save na nyingine natumia na mbolea.
Na umejifunza aje kuhusu mambo ya
nimejifunza vitu mingi sana, kitu kama hii kupanda Irish potato. Huko kwetu hatuna. Sasa nimejifunza jinsi wanavyopanda hivi. Kitu ya pili, ufugaji wa ng'ombe. Kwetu kule zetu za zero grazing.
Zile unaachilia naenda.
Zile unaachilia tu zinatembea. Lakini huko nimejifunza ng'ombe jinsi ya kuitunza na kuimanage vitu kama disease na vitu kama hizo.
Na sasa Boni, unaona vile Chege ameweza kusave a lot of money, akanunua hizi shamba kwenye ameweza kukupatia kazi. Wewe umejifunza aje kutokana na mambo kama hayo? Unajisevianga ka kitu?
Mimi najisevia. But sasa kwa ufupi, yeye mshahara wake si mbaya. Yeye analipa 20,000 per month.
Wow.
Sasa 20,000 huwa na save 10,000. Alafu hii 10,000 nyingine ni matumizi yangu binafsi na tuma ingine kule.
Wewe umeona mbele Boni. Sasa una plan kufanya nini na hiyo?
Kulingana na vile umejifunza. Mimi kulingana mkataba wangu na yeye nikitoka hapa, kitu inaenda kufanya nyumbani ni kujaribu chenye yeye amefanya, ufugaji wa ng'ombe, ufugaji wa kuku kule juu pia nimeona kuku ziko huko, kupanda hii matunda. Na avocado, ingawaje avocado kwetu hazitembei kama huku. Sasa nitajaribu tu matunda, ng'ombe na kuku.
Okay. Kwa hivyo unaweza sema maisha yako imebadilika.
Maisha imebadilika.
Sasa Chege is your hero. Si ndio? Boni. Haya, nimesahau kukuuliza swali moja. Nimeona hizi ng'ombe zinatoa maziwa mingi sana.
Hizi ng'ombe zinatoa maziwa mingi, lakini sasa kila ng'ombe iko na kiasi kinatoa. Sasa
kama
hii kwanza ni jasi. Ile ingine ni Fresian na hii ni Asha. Kulingana na hizi ng'ombe, kwangu hii inatoa maziwa mingi. Hii inatoa lita 10 kwa siku.
Kwa siku?
Asubuhi peke yake.
Asubuhi peke yake?
Saa 7 inatoa chini ya lita 10 ambapo ni lita 8 napunguza lita 2. Jioni inatoa lita 5.
25 liters a day.
Alafu ile inatoa lita 8 asubuhi, saa 7 lita 6, jioni lita 3. Alafu hii pia naye ni sawa, inatoa lita 8, lita 6 saa 7, lita 3 jioni. Hii na hii zinatoshana, lakini hii ni tofauti kwa zote. Lakini ukiza mtu mwingine atakwambia fresh and iko na maziwa, lakini kwangu ni Asha and iko na maziwa kuliko fresh and.
Kumaanisha unakamua mara 3?
Nakamua mara 3, asubuhi, saa 7 na jioni.
Haya. Alafu sasa hiyo maziwa unaipeleka?
Maziwa naipeleka kwa dairy.
Asubuhi ama jioni?
Asubuhi, saa 7 na jioni.
Wow. Naona hii kahawa imezaa. Hizi zote zinavunwa zikiwa hii color green.
Hapana. Sasa wewe ni kama hujatembea mahali kuna kahawa. Sasa hii kahawa ni kara green, sahi ni bichi. Sasa we are in month of October. Ikifika month of November, ita change kara to kara orange, then after some time, ita change to kara red. Now if change to color red, it will be ready now for harvesting. A harvesting period is a period between maybe mid-November to late early January there around. Yes.
Naona zingine ni kama zimeanguka. Ni vile zimezaa kabisa, zimezaa.
Ni kazi, you know, ni kazi. Sasa hizi, after nikichuna hii kahawa, hii miti yote itasimama.
Imeinama kwa sababu.
Sahi imeinama kwa sababu imebeba kahawa.
Sana.
Na hii kahawa nimemwagilia manyua venye inastahili. So hii kahawa yake ni mzito. Yes.
So Edward, what motivated you to buy a land here where you grew up and do farming and you don't live here, you live in Nairobi? When ulizaliwa?
I think number one, naweza sema because of diversification. Because I believe, nikisema nikae tu pale Nairobi, anything can happen. We learned a lot during the COVID-19, you know? So nikaona, it's very important when I have alternative in life. So nikafikiria nikiwa pale Nairobi, if I can buy a land like this one, nitafute mfanyakazi akae hapa, then nipande kahawa kama haya, kama hizi kahawa, na zile miti zingine. Then anything can happen. When I'm in Nairobi, naweza kuja na niseto hapa. So ni venye nilisema, I prayed what we call, I'm not a risk taker. That's what I can say for sure. So because of that, nikasema ni diversify on the other side. Nikuwe niko kwa ofisi, at the same time, niko kwa shamba.
And why farming?
I think farming, number one, is passionate. I'm so much passionate about farming.
Wow.
Na huwa napenda sana something that is always green. I think green color, actually wakati nakuja natembea hapa naona hapa kuna green, naona either ni maji ama ni nini. Umeona pale juu tuko na maji ya mfereji. I'm also planning to do a borehole hapo chini. Na nishapimiwa. I think it's around 25 feet.
Wow.
Yeah, ni feet kidogo sana because nataka to make sure there's a continuous supply of water throughout the year. So farming, I'm passionate about that. Number two, nimezaliwa na nikafundishwa na pesa ya farming. Yeah, so there's a lot of attachment when it comes to farming. Yeah, so I know for sure people believe that there's no profit in farming, but in the moment you are passionate about something, at times you don't look in terms of how much the return that you are getting from what you are doing. So me, I'm so much passionate about farming. Whether I'm getting a very small return on it, I'm comfortable with that.
And this being a coffee growing region, why did you think of farming avocado? Because I've seen kuna a lot of avocado you have planted, and kuna macadamia, kuna mango trees. Why did you think of farming something different from coffee?
You know what happened? The way I'm a farmer, I also need to understand the dynamics in the market. Number one, for the last 5 years, we have seen a lot of good return when it comes to coffee. But also, at the same time, I've seen for the last 2 years, there are a lot of people who are getting good return on avocado, also on macadamia. And that's why I thought also, let me not just specialize on one particular farming. Let me do a lot of mixed up of other trees like avocado, because like I believe in a year's time or 2 years time, I will start harvesting avocado. As you can see, most of them, they are for now, the one that people are buying currently, that is hash avocado. So within 1.5 years, I know they'll be mature to take to the market. So why I do all this also is because of our diversification. Because, you know, the problem with the one we have the coffee, it all depends with the government of the day. So I might have done all this good work with the coffee, but the moment there is change of guard, there's a change of government, then it come and do their own things. We end up losing a lot. So because I don't know what the kind of government actually we now have in place, I don't know whether they will concentrate a lot in farming of coffee or in avocado. So I thought, let me do diversification. So whichever the government comes in, I will be okay. I will be okay. Yes.
All right. Naona it's a very big land.
Yes.
Roughly ni kama 6 acres.
Yes.
Would you mind telling us how much you make, roughly how much you make per season?
Yeah, now, currently, I can just talk about the coffee, because the moment I bought this land is now 1.5 years down the line.
Wow.
These coffee bushes, they were just coffee bushes. They were actually different color altogether. Some of them were color brown and what have you. So the moment I came in first was just to try and improve the condition of these trees. So it came hand in hand in terms of the costing, because also I have to buy manure.
Yeah.
Back then I didn't have the cows around, so I was to buy manure from other places, bring it here, I look for the labor, you know. So I feel like, for example, last year, I made how many kg? In this rad and the other rad I have on the other side, I made around 1,500 kg. And now 1,500 kg, I think the rate for 1 per kg, it was coming to around 110 per kg. Roughly you can see I made almost 170,000.
Yeah.
That was last year. But for this year, I'm so much optimistic because I feel that I might manage to get around 2,500 kg. So translating to the other rate that we had for the last year, you can see I might manage to get around 350,000 comfortably.
That's good return.
Yeah, it's a good return, bearing in mind I'm still at the starting stage, which I believe in another 1 year or 2 years to come, I might have around 700 coffee plantation. Yeah, currently, I think you can see also, currently I have around 400. I want to also to extend to some other parts and even the other rad. So I feel 600 and around 600 to 700 next year. Yes.
Edward.
Yes.
Kwa sababu saa zingine inaweza fika mahali coffee ikue haina market, avocado haina market.
Yes.
What is your future plan, maybe in 10 years time to come, kwa hii land? Because it's so big.
Yes.
This side and the other side and this side. Yes. It's so big. What is your future?
Actually, I can tell you for sure. If you are to visit here another like 5 years down the line, you might not even remember this land. Because there's a lot of things coming on my mind. Number one, I feel that in 5 years to come, I might have my own dairy there.
Wow.
Because I want also maybe to convert the part of this land around 2 acres and another 3 acres from the other side. I want to do a dairy farming, whereby I can do some yogurt processing kind of plant from here, because I have an experience on that. I was working with another project in Nairobi where we are doing the same project. So I know the way to handle that. So I feel that's the thing I have in mind. Unless things come and I change my mind, that was what I have in mind currently.
Okay, and what would you tell someone who is planning to do farming?
Yes.
Na saa zingine anaona, because people talk, wanasema farming haileti return. What would you tell someone who is there? Anafikiria kufanya farming but anaogopa. What would you advise that person?
I think the problem that we have with actually the current generation is over expectation. You know, somebody want to come and plant this plantation today, tomorrow you want to harvest. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Now, when I took this lad, it's almost 2 years down the line. These bushes, if you could see how it was looking back then, somebody could feel that, oh, why should I do an investment like this one? It will cost me a lot and what have you. But for somebody like me, where in half of my life I've been in a rural kind of life setup, I believe that anything is all about time.
Yeah.
It's all about time. And also, I don't have a lot of expectation. Yeah. I feel that, we can do even the coffee farming like the way I have done it. We harvest and we take it to the factory. But all of a sudden, again, you hear the people, there's because of mismanagement that happen in most of the factory. We end up even having what I am expecting. I end up having half of that or even less than half of that. But if you are somebody without an expectation or we over expectation, I don't feel that you can do that business again. Yeah. So like I'm doing farming there. At times I can do farming. Today, as we sell the milk a liter, like currently we are selling at 45. At times it will go down even to 30, to 25. Yeah. But I continue.
Yeah.
Because all what happened is that you need to have your drive. What is your drive? If it's your drive, when it comes to the farming, if the drive is profit or higher profit, I can tell you for sure, you never do this business. What happened, number one, is first, you have the passion.
Yeah.
Then number two, you believe on time. Yeah, because times is everything, In farming, it's not like a business that you go, you do, you are employed. At the end of the month, you expect to be given a salary. The farming does not work like that. You can do you can see the way you have a very good coffee right now.
Yes.
But who knows? It might, maybe the weather might change all of a sudden. And even I fail to harvest this coffee. So we don't have a lot of expectation. You should lower your expectation if you want to do the farming. Number two, forget about those gossip people talk about farming. Yeah, if you go to Nairobi, you hear people even making some jokes that we usually go to shacks during maybe when Christmas. Yeah. Those are people, and when they come here, actually, people they'll keep the whole day walking, going to town, all that. So because people they believe that the moment you leave this place and you go to town, your life have changed. But I can tell you for sure, the money I get from here and the money people get from town, there's no difference.
There is no difference.
There's no difference. Money is money. Whether you get from farming, whether you get from the office, all of them the money. They solve the same problem. So I believe, and what I can urge the people who maybe have intention to the farming. Farming is a very good idea, and it's paying, and it have been paying, and it will continue paying even in future. So I can welcome to this kind of business.
Good.
Yes.
Umesikia? We lower our expectation.
Yes.
Farming pays.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I believe we have learned something from Edward's journey. Nothing can limit you to become who you are destined to be. And you have what it takes to become or to make a positive impact on someone's life. Please subscribe to the channel. You can as well leave a rating and review in the comment section. See you in our next episode. Bye-bye.